Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Ghost and today we are going to be taking a look at the Tier 5 Premium Light Cruiser, the INS MYSORE. That's right. So, this one is, well, it's kind of, it's interesting to say the least. In case you guys don't know what INS means, the prefix means, Indian naval ship. This is an Indian ship. It's the first Indian ship in the game. Now, it's not a part of an Indian line or anything. It is a part of the Commonwealth line. A little bit of history. In case you guys aren't aware, India used to be a part of the British Empire. I think it was all under Queen Victoria's reign, and she was Empress of India, and then her son, King George V, was also Emperor of India. Or was it Edward? I don't remember. But anyway, every single monarch, all the way up, I believe, to King George VI, was the Emperor of India. The East India Trading Company was, a big source of income for the British Empire for the longest time. India used to be a big part of the British Empire until it ultimately, I believe, broke off from it and, has its own independence now. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting ship. It did actually exist. It was a real ship as well. But in game, I'll just tell you right now, it's not too great. I mean, I've only played a few games in it, so, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But so far, from playing the couple games that I've played, a few games that I've played, it does not have any DPM. It just does not put out enough damage and whatnot. But anyway, we'll talk about that later in the gameplay portion. Let's just take a look at the upgrades and loadout. So, aiming systems mod 1, we have propulsion mod 2. Moving on to the loadout, this thing only comes with armor piercing. So, yeah, there you go. It has standard damage control parties, nothing special here. 3 repair parties, 3 sonars, and 3 smoke generators on my build. Now, these are rolling smokes, same as the Perth. The Perth also has rolling smokes. In case you guys aren't aware what a rolling smoke is, it's basically where if you pop your smoke screen, you go 1/4 speed, and the smoke screen keeps up with you for like a full minute 30. So it is a unique cruiser, I will say that. It is a unique cruiser, but in statistically speaking, this cruiser just does not. It does not have any sort of leeway. Like, there's so many better other options at Tier 5. Anyway, like I said, we'll talk about that later, but we're running the Ghost flag along with the Type 9 camouflage that the ship comes with. And it is a good-looking ship. I mean, it looks good. It checks out in the style department. But in terms of firepower and whatnot, yes, it has 9 6-inch guns. That's something we're going to talk about now, shortly, in the specs tab. So, taking a look at the survivability, this ship only has 30,000 hit points, which is pretty average for a Tier 5, nothing special there. And now the artillery. This ship does come with 9 6-inch guns. These are the Fiji guns. In fact, this is a Fiji-class light cruiser. This is one of the Fijis, except the Fiji has a total of 12 guns. This only has 9. Okay, it only has... Unless I'm getting that wrong. Am I getting that wrong? Does the Fiji have... I believe the Fiji has 12, right? If I'm not mistaken. Right? The Fiji... Yeah, the Fiji gets an extra turret. The MYSORE only has 9 guns. So, yeah. But then again, it is a Tier 5, so it makes sense, right? It's a tier lower. It should have less, guns. So it does make sense. It does check out there. Currently, my range on these guns is 15.8. My reload is 8.9 currently, and my 180-degree turn time is 25 seconds, okay? Now moving on to the AP shell maximum damage, it's 3,500, so really nothing great there. It is pretty decent, though. I mean, it's average for a 6-inch gun. And it does have some secondaries, but let's be real, 100mm secondaries on a cruiser, you should not have to be really using those too much, right? Moving on to the AA is very mediocre. Don't depend on it. Pretty mediocre. Moving on to the maneuverability. 31.5 knot speed. Okay. 610 meter turning circle and 8.6 second rudder. Okay, so the maneuverability is on the low end, at least for the speed. Currently on my build, it's not very good. And that's just, I believe, the stock speed without even building into it. Obviously, if you put on a flag and whatnot, that'll go up to like 32, 33 knots, but, there you go. That's just stock speaking. Anyway, but seriously though, for a light cruiser, 31 knot speed stock is pretty shit. I mean, let's be real. A light cruiser should have a base speed of at least 32 to 33 knots, so... Then again, whatever. It's not a big deal, right? Cruisers aren't really supposed to be moving around the map super fast and whatnot. Cruisers are supposed to be putting out lots of hatred downrange and providing fire support. That's what cruisers are. They are a support role. That's what a cruiser is. They're designed to put down hate and support people. But anyway, moving on to the concealment here. 9.6 by sea, 6 guaranteed, or sorry, 6 by air, 2 guaranteed with a 4.4 while firing in smoke. Moving on to the armor. The armor is horrible, okay? But it is tier 5, so let's be real. Most cruisers at tier 5, if not all cruisers at tier 5, have bad armor. So this is nothing new. Taking away the bow armor, by the way, the bow armor is only 16 millimeters, so anything with 203 millimeter armor-piercing shells or higher, I believe, will overmatch you. So, yeah, your armor's pretty dog shit. Moving on to the superstructure, you have horrible superstructure. That's to be expected with a cruiser. Moving on to the turrets, 50 millimeters. These turrets will get knocked out if they get hit consistently. Moving on to the auxiliary room armor. Deck armor currently right here is 19 millimeters. That's not going to protect you from much. And 51 millimeters there as well in the middle, under that second smokestack. And overall, yeah, the auxiliary room armor, not the greatest. And finally, the Citadel. It's huge. The Citadel is fucking gigantor. Both of the games that I played in this thing so far, I got absolutely nuked. I mean, the second one wasn't as bad, but the first one I got straight out dev-struck. Yeah, it wasn't very fun. I'll probably put a clip of that. I'll probably put up a clip of that in the gameplay if I remember to, but it was a bad fucking time. This thing just does not put out any decent amounts of damage. Now, don't get me wrong, every ship in this game has the potential to do great things, but you know, this one really struggles to do that so far in my experience. Like, if a cruiser cannot put out consistent damage and help people out and whatnot, then it's not a very good cruiser. Cruisers are supposed to be, you know, able to help your team by putting out fires and putting out, you know, lots of damage downrange to you know, soften people up and of course support people. That's how most tier 5 cruisers go. There's only one radar cruiser at the tier, so, you know, most cruisers at tier 5 are, you know, designed to sit back and put down lots of hatred, and this is one of those ships that just doesn't do it very well. It's got bad armor, it's got bad heals, the heals aren't even that great. The smokes, I mean, yeah, are cool, but, like, what's the point of all of that if you can't even put out enough damage, you know, to make up for... See, I'm going down a fucking line here, right? Just from the couple games I played, I can tell right off the bat that this is going to be a ship I'm going to play for a little bit and never play again. It's going to be one of those ships that I'm going to play once and probably never touch again. Because it's just not very good. I'm being honest with you guys. I mean, yeah, I've only played 2 games, but those 2 games, man, I can tell when a ship is pretty crap, okay? In terms of DPM. This ship just lacks DPM. Now, obviously, if you get into a lobby where you can put out loads of damage on broadside targets that are just making it easy for you, obviously any cruiser is going to have a good time with that. But anyway, moving on to the final thing here, and that is the commander. We're running Harald B. Farncombe. Okay, we're running Genichi Mikawa and Francesco Mambelli as inspirations. Mikawa decreases my cruiser detectability, and Francesco Mambelli decreases my reload. So these 2 guys help out nicely. You do need the concealment, you do need the reload, okay? Careful is his base trait. I'm running beyond range, shell from the ghost, punch through, fixated, and fully packed. And the reason why I'm running fully packed is because you need those extra smoke screens, you need those extra fucking heals in this thing. You need them. This thing doesn't put out a lot of damage to begin with. It's not very good at defending itself, so you need all of the fucking utility that you can get, okay? I'm just being honest. You need everything, okay? He's a Legendary 1, rank 15 captain, and nonetheless, I'm going to bring you guys over to the gameplay portion where we will talk about other cruisers at the tier and why I think this one just does not live up to any of them. Okay, this is on the downward end of the cruisers at this tier. Okay, we're going to talk about that in the gameplay. Anyway, hope you all do enjoy it. Alrighty, so here we are in the first game ever. This is the very first game I played in the MYSORE. You know, like we talked about in the review, this ship is not the greatest in terms of DPM. I mean, I can just tell from playing the first 2 games. Like, I'm up against some battleships that usually I would be able to absolutely damage the crap out of if I was in any other cruiser. Right, let's talk about the Dallas, for example. The Dallas is one of my favorite tier 5 cruisers, and the reason being is because, well, the Dallas just puts out so much damage. It's got great AP, it's got great HE, it sets fires 24/7, it's a great time, loads of DPM, it's got heat, sorry, it doesn't have heals, it has sonar, it has some utility, right? So, I mean, overall, Dallas is really solid. Pensacola, another great tier 5 cruiser. A lot of you in the comments are probably like, Dr. Ghost, the Pensacola's is a horrible cruiser. Well, you're just bad. Pensacola's amazing. Yes, the Pensacola has bad armor, but what makes the Pensacola so good is its guns. See, most tier 5 cruisers follow the doctrine of having horrible armor, but they make up for it in firepower. That is most cruisers, going all the way up to tier 7. This is usually the doctrine that most cruisers, get it, doctrine? Anyway, horrible pun. Going back to what I was saying, most cruisers, you know, they have bad armor, but they make up for it in firepower. That's what cruisers are so good at, is putting out lots of consistent damage quickly. And this cruiser just doesn't do that. It just doesn't. Like, for example, even the Japanese Alba. The Alba, whatever you want to call it, the Alba has fan-fucking-tastic high explosive. It's got decent 203mm HE. It's nice. Overall, great guns. Even the British Leander's guns are fantastic. Really quick loading, puts out lots of damage, really good AP. Yes, it only has AP. It has the same exact consumables as the MYSORE, and it even has one less gun, but for some reason, the Leander seems to just put out more damage when I play it. I don't know why, but for some reason, I get better fucking results playing the Leander. I love the Leander. Great cruiser. I'll play that cruiser any day. The Devonshire, HMS Devonshire, fantastic cruiser. Why is that? Oh, it's because it has great guns. Are you guys seeing a trend here? Right, Devonshire, yes, it has horrible armor, it blows up, but it makes up for it in the firepower. You see, and this cruiser doesn't do that at all. It has horrible armor, which is something that most cruisers already have. It's got a giant citadel, and the guns are trash. Okay, I'm just being honest with you guys. If y'all can't handle the truth, this isn't the channel for you. But I'm just being real. This is how I see it. These guns are not great. I mean, look at the damage I'm getting. Only a couple thousand every tick. I mean, I get it. It's an angled Normandy, but I'm aiming up in the superstructure, and I'm only getting 1,000. So yeah. Anyway, most cruisers at this tier. Most cruisers have good DPM, and they just do lots of things. They're great. This is not one of them, and this guy's going broadside, and somehow I only get 2 pens for 1,800. If I was in any other cruiser right now, this guy would already be dead. I mean, I would have the DPM to absolutely obliterate him. Maybe if I, you know, Leander obviously probably wouldn't be able to. I mean, it's still an angled Normandy at the end of the day. But even though he just went broadside, he should have at least taken 4K for that. 4,000 to 5,000 for his mistake there. But nope, these guns just aren't great. Alright? They just ain't. They just aren't the greatest in terms of, you know, shell characteristics and everything. And I don't know the exact, you know, numbers and the shell characteristics. Y'all can tell me in the comments below. But these do not feel like British AP. These don't feel right. Now, that's a decent result. But we hit them 4 times, and we only got 3K for that. I just, you know, I don't get it. These guns, man, they struggle. They really do struggle. So yeah, we're kiting away, because obviously we don't want to be, you know, getting focused down the whole time. This is not a great, you know, situation to be in, being center of attention in a frickin' MYSORE. I mean, we went over the Citadel. Now, speaking of Citadels, this guy should get absolutely obliterated. It's a broadside MYSORE at 9 kilometers, and nope, we only get 5 penetrations for 5K. If I was in a Pensacola there, if I was in any heavy cruiser, that bitch would have been slapped back to fucking Timbuktu with that shit. Pardon my language, but seriously, I'm being honest here. Like, that MYSORE should have gotten absolutely creamed. But nope, the game's like, ah, you don't have the pen to Citadel them. So, screw you, Ghost. Thank you, game. I appreciate that. And, yeah, as you guys can see, I mean, these guns just do not put out a lot of damage. They're just not the greatest. And not to mention, they have a pretty long reload. Like, for example, the Dallas. the Nuremberg, they all have like 6 to 5 second reload on their guns, and they're 6-inch guns. They're the same exact caliber as these guns, and they reload quicker, they put out more damage, they have high explosive, and this doesn't have any of that. So, yeah, and it doesn't take a lot of games to figure this out. It just doesn't. It really doesn't take a lot of time to figure out, you know, that this thing just does not put out a lot of damage. Now, obviously, if you have the right scenario, if you have the right matchmaking, and everybody just sails broadside to you and makes it easy, and you can just push in and obliterate things, well, yeah, you're going to have a good time. Any cruiser can do something like that, right? If you can have the right scenario, this cruiser can be great, like any ship. Even the worst ships in the game can have great games. I'm not, you know, not denying that. And by the way, we just got dev struck there. I think I mentioned that earlier. I might have you know, I said I might show this game off, and I actually did. This is my very first game, and so far, I mean, you know, I was like, okay, maybe, you know, I can have a good game the next game I play, right? So I played a few of the space game modes, and then I came back to play the MYSORE. But yeah, so far, I mean, I'm not enjoying this cruiser whatsoever. And yeah, it's because it just doesn't put out a lot of damage. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do, right? Most Tier 5 cruisers have great DPM, and even that, they may not have great DPM, they just might have the potential to smack things around, right? Most cruisers, like even the heavy cruisers, like the Devonshire is a great example, the Elba, they all have low reload, but their guns hit hard and they set fires and they're great, right? That's what makes them so good. This doesn't have any of that, okay? There's no upsides to this cruiser. There's nothing good about this cruiser. Not a single thing is great about this cruiser. The only thing I could say is great is maybe the utility. I mean, it can pop a lot of smoke screens and stuff, but that's about it. And even that, the smoke screens, they take forever to reload. The smoke screens take about 5 fucking centuries to reload. So, I mean, you know, I'm just saying, like, it's not a great time. But anyway, yeah, we're in the second game here. This is the second game I had. And this one was a little better. It was a little better. But it still wasn't great. Like, yeah, it's a trend with this thing. It reminds me of the San Diego. The San Diego. And, you know, the San Diego is a great, I mean, I say it's great. It's not. It's a good cruiser now. It got buffed, and it's a little better now, but I still would not play San Diego over any other Tier 7 cruiser. There are so many better options at Tier 7. There really are. But San Diego now is a lot better with the buff and whatnot. It does put out a bit more damage, and at least it has a really good reload. So you can constantly put out, you know, fire down range. But this doesn't have any of that. It has a poor reload. It has a poor damage per minute. And overall, it's pretty piss poor. You know, I'm just being honest. So, yeah. But anyway, like I said, though, I mean, you can have a good game in this ship. You can have a good game in any ship if, you know, the right scenario occurs where you get people that play like Nimrods and allow you to screw them over. There are plenty of games out there where that can happen. Like, for example, there's some matches where you just have the dream of a game where everybody pushes you, sails broadside, it doesn't really care about you, and lets them citadel you. Or they let you citadel them, rather. And I don't usually have that matchmaking. You know, just because you can have a great game in a ship doesn't mean that it's a good ship, statistically speaking. Looking at the stats, compared to all of the other Tier 5 cruisers, this ship is on the low end of it. I mean, I've played a lot of ships in this game, and I have a lot of time played in cruisers. And I can just tell from the 2 games that I play that this thing does not put out a lot of damage. I mean, I have a broadside Congo, one of the lightest battleships at Tier 4, and I'm not putting out any fucking damage on them. So seriously. Again, how do I only get 1,000? These are 6-inch guns, and it's a broadside Congo at 11 kilometers. And I'm aiming high into a superstructure, and I'm only getting a couple pens every, you know, couple hits? No. Now, obviously, right here, there's a broadside Omaha. Obviously, I'm going to citadel him. Obviously. If I didn't citadel him, there would be seriously something wrong. Anyway, it was a Rattlehead, not an Omaha, but it's the same class of ship. You know what I mean. It's literally an Omaha, just with, you know, different characteristics. But nonetheless, same citadel, and obviously you're going to have no problem citadeling a frickin' Omaha, right? Or even most cruisers at tier 5. That's not even a question. Any cruiser at tier 5 can citadel almost any cruiser at tier 5, right? That's nothing new. So if you see any videos out there, ladies and gentlemen, where people are like, oh, this ship is great, this ship is awesome, pay attention to their matchmaking and just get an idea of who they're up against. If they're in a bot lobby with a bunch of people just sailing broadside for them, well, let me tell you, I'll be the first to tell you that any cruiser can do great in a lobby like that, right? So, but I'm trying to apply, logic to this, right? Not every game you play is going to be a bot lobby. Most games you're going to play are going to have people who are going to know what they're doing. And you need a good cruiser that's going to be able to, do some things, right? And this is not one of those cruisers. So, yeah, anyway. We're about to get the middle cap here. We just got the middle cap, and, sorry, not the middle cap, the outer cap here, the Bravo cap. That's what I was trying to say. So we're going to start rolling in some points. Now, the Destroyer was spotted earlier. We got our front guns off and did, like, no damage to him because, anyway, we're going to move around this island and maybe intercept him. I don't know. But, yeah, we're still putting out decent amounts of shells, but once again, we're just doing, like, no fucking damage. I mean, I've had broadside battleships to shoot at the whole game. Even a California, which is notorious for getting, absolutely plastered with penetrations into a superstructure, I can't even hit him for decent amounts of fucking damage. That tells you something. That tells you something. Okay? Congo, California, they all have very susceptible superstructures, and I am doing nothing to them. There's something wrong there. Right? There has to be something wrong there, because that just does not check out in my book. Right? If I can't do consistent damage, this is not the cruiser for me. I like a cruiser that can carry games. I like a cruiser that can put out lots of, DPM and set fires and do things, have an impact on the battle. This cruiser does not have an impact on the battle. It requires, either division mates or teammates to carry you. And, yeah, that's about it. I mean, if you want to roleplay as an India naval ship, go for it. This is the great ship for you, but in terms of, competitiveness and statistically speaking, no, this ship ain't it. So, anyway, Gepard is spotted 7 kilometers out, and, well, if I was any cruiser here, this man would get absolutely obliterated. And, well, 1 shell hit. Most of them fell short, so that's just a game issue. Let's try this again. This time with all 9 6-inch guns. Game? 4 penetrations for that little damage. If I was in any other... Like, how many times have I said it so far? If I was in any other cruiser, that man would have gotten slapped so fucking hard. But no. No, I'm in the MYSORE. And this is definitely a SORE. This is a SORE on my side. It's gonna be a SORE in my port for the rest of my time playing this game, because I'm never gonna play it again. It doesn't interest me. This cruiser's crap. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, look at the stats, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, I said it plenty of times. Yes, you can have a great game in this ship. You can have a great game in any ship. But just looking at it from a statistical standpoint, and so far, from what I've seen with these guns, it just does not do a whole lot. So for the rest of the game, basically, yeah, we're going to sail over to the other side of the map, because the Gepard is getting chased down by 2 destroyers. Those 2 destroyers should have no problem taking out that Gepard, and it looks like they're just absolutely chewing him up. Gepard is literally running to the corner of the map because, well, yeah, he's a Frenchie. Of course, he's just going to retreat to the corner of the map. I'm joking, obviously. Yeah. Anshan, there we go. He takes him down. Nice work. And I give him a nice work. And, yeah, we're sailing to the other side of the map. And, 7 minutes in, we only have 27k. And 70 main battery hits. And, yeah. So far, man, I'm just not super stoked with this. I'm just not. Unless there's something I don't know. But, yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, the only 2 things I can think of that are good about this ship, the only 2 things that I can think of is the heals and the utility overall. It has good utility, and that's it. That's the only 2 things I can think. It has good heals, and it has smokes. That's it. Everything else about this cruiser, you'd be better off playing any other cruiser at Tier 5, right? I would rather play a Dallas. I would rather play a Pensacola. I would rather play an Alba. I would rather play a Nuremberg. Hell, I would rather even play a frickin', what's another piece of crap cruiser at this tier? I mean, there really aren't any. I mean, this to me takes the cake. And it's weird, because I thought this thing would be amazing. You know, 9 6-inch guns, a Fiji at tier 5. Nope, it just lacks all of that. Like, these AP shells do not feel like the British AP that I know. At least on their light cruisers. This just does not feel like it. This thing is ugh. Yeah, it is ugh. So, anyway, we're finally in range of somebody, and it looks like we're in range of a Bayern, and we're hitting him, and we're only getting 1,000 per salvo. 1,000 damage. Whoa, that's so much damage we're doing. And, yeah, second salvo there, we do nothing. A shatter and a ricochet, and it's ricochet, so, you know, that's always fun. And we're still just, you know, putting out loads of shells, but very minimal results. I mean, look at that damage. What is that? If I was in a Dallas, that guy would already be on fire. He would be burning. And if he put it out, then he would be on fire again. Hey, there's 1,000 damage. Oh, whoop-de-doo. What, 5 salvos? 3K? It just... Like, what am I playing here? Oh, that's right, I'm playing the MYSORE. You know, yeah. So I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna do a little bit of fast-forward magic here. And just kind of let the game go on, and we'll stop when it, you know, gets to the end. But, yeah, you know, let me know in the comments below, though, what you guys think. But so far, this thing just does not. It just does not. It's all I got. I mean, look at this. A broadside Bayern. I just got Citadel, by the way, right there. But a broadside Bayern, and I'm doing nothing to him. I'm aiming up high into his superstructure, and I'm only getting, like, 1,000 damage per salvo. Really? Really? Like, any other cruiser would do so much better. I mean, hey, there's a better result. 2K! Oh my god, we got 2,000 damage there. Whoa, but there's another 1,000. And, oh, we did 1,1700 there. Oh, there we go. oh, 5. Oh, it looks like 1,000 again. Okay. 2 penetrations for 1,000 damage. We got another pen. And, oh, it looks like we got an Alba here. Oh, wow. It's an Alba. Speaking of the witch. And, well, the Alba is about to go broadside. We did just knock out one of his guns, but he's about to go broadside, and hopefully we'll be able to smack him. Now, we're doing some decent damage to him. This is the most amount of damage we've gotten this whole game was on this Alba. And, as you guys can see, he's going broadside, and, well, down he goes. Any cruiser can do that. Any cruiser can do that better. Okay? Any cruiser. Dallas, Pensacola, Alba, Devonshire, Nuremberg. Any cruiser can do that. Plus some, okay? So that is nothing new. So, yeah. So far, I don't like this. I don't like it. You know, like I said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this. But, so far, I'm not impressed. And I just got absolutely smacked again, as to be expected. This thing has a giant frickin', you know, floating citadel, and it has no armor. So, yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, though. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And if you guys have enjoyed so far, I know this video has gone on for a long time. 30-minute video today, but nonetheless, if you guys have enjoyed, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are getting super close to our next milestone. And the Bayern is about to go down any second. Come on. Even with the fast forwarding, I mean, look at this. This is 2 times speed, and we're still just, ugh. If I was in any other cruiser, this guy would be dead. If I was in any other cruiser, this guy would be burnt down to the floor. And he would have been dead. Oh my god, this cruiser is torture. It really is a sore. It is a sore. It's not a MYSORE, it's just a sore, man. It is, yeah. And we just got Citadel'd again, and down we go. And down goes the Bayern as well. Any second. And, yeah, down he goes. And that is the end of the game. So, yeah, my final thoughts, man. It is not good. It is not. It is a pretty crappy cruiser. And I'm not saying you can't have a good game in it. You can have a good game in any ship. But in terms of, you know, looking at other cruisers at the tier, it just doesn't live up. It has nothing great going for it. It doesn't have HE. It just doesn't put out DPM with the AP. The AP's trash. And as you guys saw in those 2 games, it proves that. It just, ugh. But anyways, hope you all did enjoy today's video. If you guys did enjoy, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And, yeah. Nonetheless, oh, it looks like we leveled up in the campaign. But, yeah, nonetheless, enjoy the rest of the update, ladies and gentlemen. And I will catch you all on the next one. That's the MYSORE. It's definitely a sore. It's definitely a sore.